Hey guys, another edition of HBCU Conversations brought to you by Cross Colors, and it's our repeat guest. It's like a three-peat. HBCU Heroes back again. I had to catch up with George Lynch and Tracey Pennywell because these guys had a telethon over the past weekend, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, from noon to midnight. Guys, I did not know what to expect, but after watching for 2 days, all I could say is it was simply awesome. Job well done. Let's start at what did it take to put that together? You just don't put together 24 hours of content in a weekend overnight. How did you guys put all the pieces together to make that event happen?
Holly, thank you so much for having us back again. You and your viewers at HBCU Game Day are always supportive of us, and we can't thank you all enough. And to answer your question, there was no sleep to be had in the last 3 weeks. We put this telethon together in 3 weeks, and all of the celebrities and the athletes who were booked, the production, everything, it was a monstrosity of mega proportions, but we were so happy to pull it off. I think George and I can both agree, if we had known how much work it was going in, we might not have done it, huh, George?
I gotta ask, George.
I have to agree with you on that one. There's definitely a lot of work, but it's well worth it. I think some good things that come from it.
George, would you take an NBA training camp again or another telethon?
I definitely take the training camp.
Well, you have to remember, Tolly, George and I, we are not really techies. I mean, we're really far from being techies. So we've been thrown into the world of technology through our Tech for COVID telethon and our Tech for COVID movement, actually. And, you know, the digital divide is not only just with, I think, younger people and people of minority descent. I think it's also for us people who are over a certain age, and I, of course, will not say what that age is. I think part of what we've realized, too, is we being parents, we being, people who have to home train their kids. George has been homeschooling his kids, too, and it is tough. I mean, the technology divide is a serious issue. And so part of what we're doing is closing the gap from our generation to the millennials, as well as for minority students.
Okay, if people aren't familiar, so you guys started HBCU Heroes within the last year, right? So within the last year, so it's a nonprofit. You guys have taken on the recent project of trying to provide laptops and devices for HBCU athletes because they're, like everyone else, at home, distance learning. Not everyone has the resources. So you put together this telethon over the weekend. Maybe you didn't raise as much as you wanted to, but you guys raised a lot of money that can go a long way.
Yeah, I think Tracey hit on it. We don't quite understand with the age difference. I'll say my age. I'm 50, so I'm pushing 50.
Well, it's easy to look you up, George, so you can't hide from
that. so and it's hard. Even reaching out to some of the athletes and the celebrities who don't get on into the tech and social media, it was hard for them to stand in front of a camera, make a video for the cause. But I think, as we learn, I think it's going to help everyone. This pandemic it can be some good that comes out of it because it forces you to get out of that comfort zone. And for me, to get in front of the camera, it's different when someone else is holding the camera, someone is asking the questions. But to stand in front of the camera, do a PSA kind of just off the whim and talk about something that you're passionate about, helping these students. Actually, it's K through 12 and student athletes at HBCU. So we're trying to help everyone who's still, learning and still in school. We know that there's a 1 in 3 ratio divide between, Black and brown, the less fortunate students. And we're just trying to help close that gap. And I think if we're able to do that, it's going to be better for our entire country.
And Tracey, I know you guys are shooting for millions of dollars that you want to raise. And over the weekend, somewhere, I know they're still tallying figures, but you were somewhere close to $200,000 over the weekend. Yes. But you guys are going to bounce back, right? And this wasn't a one and done type deal.
Yeah, exactly. And, sometimes it's like we're put into this thing, and we obviously had a $3 million goal that we wanted to hit. But the thing is, and you when we were talking earlier today, Tali, you mentioned it, in the HBCU space, that is a lot of money, and we can buy a lot of computers with that. But George and I are not stopping here with our partners, their community. The name of their company is called Community. They're a nonprofit as well. We are going back at it, and every Sunday in the month of May, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, we are actually doing our Sunday sessions. So we'll be on Twitch on the homepage again, and we're doing 3 to 7, and we'll have sports, entertainment, gaming, all of the stuff you saw last weekend. We'll have all those back. And so George and I are going to shout out some celebrities that we had on last time, and then we're looking for some more celebrities. We need, here's what our goal is. We want every single athlete, pro athlete, the NFL or NBA, WNBA, all of them to get involved in this cause, because as our friend Serve says, we're all we got. We are all we got. And if they get involved and we can spread this message, we can raise the visibility and raise this funding, like George is saying, all of the student athletes from HBCUs, all of the K through 12 minority students who still don't have computers and can't finish the semester, or still don't have Wi-Fi and can't finish the semester, they're going to all benefit, and they're our next generation. So that's our goal, and we definitely need more help and support, because it takes a village, right, George?
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys had some big names over the weekend. Help me fill in the gaps. You had Michael. Oh, look at that. I said gaps, and then I said Michael Strahan. I didn't even mean to do that.
We didn't say it, Michael. It wasn't us.
Look, I'm reformed. I used to have one. I got a retainer back here.
I got one part.
You had Michael Strahan. You had Offset. You had Jeezy, Takeo Spikes, Bill Bellamy, Cheryl Swoops.
Rob Covington, who actually went to TSU and now plays for the Rockets.
Yeah.
Terry Cummings. We had Everson Walls from the Dallas Cowboys. Tyrone Poole, who went to Fort Valley but won 2 championships with the Patriots. We had Mel Blount from the Steelers. John Stallworth from the Steelers. I'm a Steelers girl, so those are my guys. But, we had HBCU athletes student athletes who turned pro. We had just a swarm of celebrities who said, listen, Jackie Reed, she sent in a video. And then we had Jay Farrow. Like, they came out and supported because they wanted us to reach this goal, and they still want us to and are still committed. So Eddie Griffin did a great video for us and is behind the cause, behind the movement.
I saw Chris Broussard. He had a video in there. Yeah,
Chris has been with us for almost a year now. And he's actually gotten us some players and some different things. So we really just, we created a movement, and we actually had some presidents come on board and do a really exciting panel that kind of was a overview into what's happening at HBCUs. And so we had Rick Gallo from Grambling and Mike Sorrell, right, from Paul Quinn College. So, for us, we just wanted to present the issue, the problem, the crisis, and some solutions to solve it with some notable people that, your viewers and our viewers could relate to. And so we plan to do that for the rest of the month. And we're just excited to keep going. We're excited that so many people watched, and so many people sent us tweets and emails and everything to just tell us to keep going. So we were very, very happy with that.
George, talking with Tracey Pennywell and George Lynch here from HBCU Heroes. George, what does it feel like for you, man, to have that fellowship of, former pro athletes? You guys are a community within itself, that they were able to come back and show love and support for something that means so much to you.
I think it was great. I think it just shows the brotherhood of professional sports and just athletes in general. Cheryl Swoops, I met her back in 1993. She won the national championship at Texas Tech when I won it at Carolina. I remember talking to her at the White House, and when asked if she would come on because she's doing a lot of great things, she was like, sure. So just athletes in period, we understand, although we both went to a PWI, we both understand the struggle. Me firsthand with being on the coaching staff at a HBCU, and more athletes should go and just more people, period, should go visit a HBCU, apply to a HBCU, because every little bit helps. all the exposure. They need exposure.
Tracey, I'll be honest, I did not know what to expect this past weekend. And, you get the news release, I talk to you guys, I see all the information. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of stuff. It reminded me of one of those party, flyers. It was like, hey, we're going to have a fish fry. We're going to have a dance contest. We're going to play cards. We're going to have a car show. You're like, are y'all really going to do all that? But you all, I tuned in Saturday night. There was this, I'm old. I'm washed. There was this, it was on Twitch, which I've never watched Twitch in my life. There was this young lady playing video games. I don't know what game she was playing. I'm a Super Mario Brothers. That's the last time I played a video game. But she was talking about HBCUs. I don't think she was the most familiar with HBCUs, but she was in. You had buy-in from her. She raised like $100 within her. No, she raised $600 within her community.
Raised $600, and then after that, other people donated, and she ended up raising, when the night was over, $1,500. And she did it because these gamers, they raise a lot of money just for themselves, but she did it because we asked her, and she said, "Of course, we'll do it." That's the one thing, Tolly, that George and I are so grateful for. Every single person who came on this weekend, and there were a lot of them, nobody charged us an appearance fee. Nobody said, well, they wanted to get paid. Everybody did it out of the goodness of their hearts. And they really just wanted to see these student athletes and these students succeed in this pandemic. So you had people like the gamers raising money. There are other people who connected us with potential sponsors, that sort of thing. It was just, I've never seen anything like it. And I got to tell you this, when you said you didn't know what to expect, we didn't either, to be quite honest with you. We didn't know. George and I just have never, we've done events before because we've been partners for a while, but we've never put on a virtual telethon. So our producer, whose name is Allie Young from Access Replay, she is a phenomenal producer. Is in the e-gaming and esports space. So she helped to coordinate pretty much everything on site. But that event was, there were times when people would be like, "Is this thing on?" And we're live. It was very raw. And, you can't produce those kind of moments. Tequila Spikes love him to death. He called in from the golf course, and we said, that's no problem because at least you're here. And he did his thing from the golf course, and it was great. We had a lot of moments like that, didn't we, George? People calling in from their cars, people calling in sitting outside because their family was in the house and the dogs and the kids were too loud. But it all worked. It all came together and was just wonderful. We really, really, we didn't know what to expect.
Look, even when you know what you're doing, it is hard to produce 12 hours of content where, everything doesn't melt down and just fall apart. So kudos.
And Tully, don't forget, too, some people didn't know how to had never been on a Zoom call. They didn't even know how to operate the technology. For instance, we had the fabulous Dionne Warwick who called in. She, you could see her name on the screen, and she could never get video. So hopefully we'll have her back this weekend. But, when you think about it, Dionne Warwick, Grammy-winning Dionne Warwick, was on Twitch with HBCU Heroes trying to raise money for this event. Hey. To me, when you talk about the technological divide, that is astounding that someone of her caliber is trying to give back to these students in the best way she knows how.
That's what friends are for, Dionne. Get somebody in your camp to hit that video button. it can be a struggle. Like, did I internet audio call in? What is going on? George, how do you rate a win? Your whole career has been about wins and losses as a player and a coach. What's your kind of internal gauge of if you're winning in this endeavor?
I think I win every time I'm able to hand a different student a laptop. Anytime we can introduce technology, make it easier and affordable access. If we can get Wi-Fi in one of these students' homes who's, because they're not on campus, don't have access to the labs or the Wi-Fi. Only 30% of HBCUs have the technology to do the distance learning, and that's a challenge. So if we can, like I said, if we can make a change, if we can help a HBCU upgrade their technology for the following year, all that's a win. So we'll take them. We'll go to first base, second base, and third base. We won't try to hit home runs. If we can just advance every Sunday, I think that's a win.
Tracey, we've got just a few minutes left here. Tell us again the information about HBCU Heroes and the telethon that is going to keep going here in the month to come.
Thank you, Tali. So this Sunday and every Sunday in the month of May, we're doing our Sunday series. And so you can go to tech4covid.live. That's tech4covid.live. And you can stream it live. It'll also be on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and all of those. And for more information in between time or to donate, you can also go to HBCUheroes.org. You can donate there. You can sign up for, if you're an HBCU student athletic department and you need computers, you can sign up for computers there. And as soon as we're raising money, we're giving them out. So, we just want to, like George said, keep getting those wins every week and keep raising money so that we can help all HBCUs who need it.
Well, it was a great start, in my opinion. I know you guys are going to hit the 1 million mark and bust through that ceiling and continue to move on. Got about a minute left here. Let's name some names. Let's challenge some people. Let's call some people out that you need to get on board. LeBron, Carmelo, Chris Paul.
Keep going. Dominique Wilkins, we've got you on our call list. We called you last week. Where you at?
Sean Combs, Puppy.
Puppy.
Who else?
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill.
Jimmy Jackson, who's a Steelers fan too. Where you at, Jimmy?
He look, I support you on Fox all the time when you're talking, Jimmy Jackson.
He's our boy.
You got to show up. Denzel, he put his son through Morehouse. Denzel's son, John, right? John,
he went to Morehouse. We definitely need some Denzel money up in here to try to get these computers in. And that's the thing. Like, even if someone says, I'll sponsor 5 computers, you don't have to do all 6,000. Give us money for 3 computers, 10 computers. Just help us out. That's all we need. But we really want these people to appear so that we can also spread the message and the visibility as well. Right. And we do want to thank everyone that did give back. Akbar, who is the host for American Ninja Warrior, his sister went to Bennett. He came on board because of his sister. I mean, there's so many people who, Antonio Harvey, who's been our friend for 20 years, who played on the Lakers with George. Like, we can't thank everyone enough who chipped in, but we also do. Aton Thomas, who is in our corner every week. We want more. We want the Charles Barkleys and the Shaqs and all of those guys to come on as well and show their support.
Thanks again to Tracey Pennywell and George Lynch, HBCU Heroes. Look for more of their virtual telethons coming up in the month of May. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget you can subscribe to all of our videos right here on our YouTube channel. Just click on the link on your screen and you'll be in there like swimwear. All right, that was old and just pitiful. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you later.